Candidate 402. Your simulation has been terminated. You failed. You walked into the public square, and within 3 minutes, you were leaking. You think you were being social, but the data shows you were simply handing out the coordinates to your own destruction. The transparency trap. You walked in open book, thinking transparency is a virtue. It isn't. In the arena of the public, transparency is just vulture bait. If they can see through you, they can see past you. And once they see past you, you are no longer a player. You are an obstacle to be cleared. Scenario 1. The dopamine leak. Look at the replay. A stranger asks, "So, what's next for you?" And you, hooked on the hit of validation, spilled your entire 5-year plan. You announced your empire before laying a single brick. You weren't building. You were begging for a good boy pat on the head. Machiavelli warns that you just gave every envious friend a map to your sabotage. From now on, use your ambiguity armor. When they ask your plan, you say, "I'm still processing the variables." Short, vague, calm. Let that silence expand. Let it itch. Let them fill it with their own fears. Scenario 2. The social comparison trap. Workplace setting. You saw your colleagues whispering, and you flinched. You felt the internal worry. You thought they were discussing your flaws, so you jumped in to explain yourself. Defending guilt only makes you look guilty. The shift. In this simulation, you are a black hole of information. Listen to the gossip, gather the data, but contribute nothing. Become the ghost to those who thought they could read you. If they bait you with a jab, use the mirror defense. Look them in the eye and say, "That's an interesting perspective." Why do you ask? Make them look at their own mask until they can't stand the sight of it. Scenario 3. The submission of the logo. You wore your status on your sleeve today. You thought the watch made you a king. In reality, it made you a target. Flashing wealth is not power. It's a humiliation of the crowd. And they will eventually make you pay for that feeling of inadequacy. True power is financially ambiguous. You want to be the puzzle no one can solve. Wear the quality of the fabric, never the size of the logo. Keep your bank account holstered. If people cannot map your resources, they cannot plan your bankruptcy. Scenario 4. The digital illusion. 60 minutes performing for a screen. You were chasing a zero-sum game where someone else's success made you feel like you were failing. The most powerful people in this archive are the ones who don't post. They have a high privacy orientation. They don't need to be seen to be real. Their validation comes from the mirror, not the likes. Kill the reward and punishment, education you were raised on. Have the courage to be disliked. Freedom isn't being loved by everyone. It's being entirely unconcerned with their yardstick. Scenario 5. The exit threat. Final lesson. You stayed in that toxic conversation 10 minutes too long because you were afraid of the isolation of authority. You were chained to the outcome. Power is the ability to walk away and mean it. It's the quiet detachment that says, "I am here because I choose to be, and I can disappear without warning." This is your unbreakable leverage. When the manipulator realizes you don't need their approval, they panic. They operate on your dependence. You operate on your sovereignty. Conclusion. The sovereign ghost. The simulation is restarting. This time, you will not roar before the kill. You will move like a psychological shadow present, but never obvious. Speak only when the room is looking for your voice. Treat your emotions as private data, and when they try to find the handles to grab you, they will find you are too smooth, too unreadable, and far too dangerous to touch. Go back out there. Be the question they cannot answer. Debriefing complete.